The scream tore through the small two-room apartment like a blade. It was sharp, desperate, and filled with a kind of pain that no human should ever know. The hot iron hissed as it pressed against Maya's bare shoulder, smoke rising from her skin as she struggled to pull away. Her swollen belly tightened with fear. She was 8 months pregnant, and every jolt of agony sent a shock through her unborn child. At the doorway, their 5-year-old son, Liam, stood trembling, his small hands gripping the wooden frame so tightly his knuckles whitened. His wide brown eyes darted from his father to his mother, unable to understand why the man he once called hero had become a monster before his eyes. "Please, Jamal, stop, you will kill me," Maya cried, her voice cracking. But Jamal's face held no mercy. His jaw clenched as he grabbed her arm, pulling her closer. The hot iron hovered inches from her cheek this time, the heat scorching the air. "You think you can walk around disrespecting me?" he hissed. "You think I don't know you're trying to embarrass me in front of people?" "I haven't done anything," Maya pleaded, tears streaming. "Please, the baby." "The baby." For a moment, Jamal paused, but his anger swallowed whatever conscience flickered inside him, and he pressed the iron toward her again. That was the moment Maya realized something inside her had snapped forever. She could no longer beg, no longer hope, no longer pretend. The man in front of her was not the husband she married. This was someone capable of destroying her life and leaving their son with scars that would never heal. Liam suddenly ran forward, crying out, "Daddy, stop! You're hurting Mommy." Jamal's fist came up instinctively, and for a terrifying fraction of a second, Maya thought he would strike their boy. Her body surged with one last burst of strength. She pushed Jamal back and threw herself around Liam, shielding him with her whole body, even as her skin burned and her breath came in ragged gasps. "Touch him and I swear," she began, but another wave of pain hit her. Everything blurred. She collapsed. The iron fell. Liam screamed her name, shaking her, begging her to wake up. Jamal stood frozen, shocked by how fast things had spiraled, but still refusing to admit his cruelty. Maya's vision dimmed, her consciousness slipping away. Her last thought before everything went black was simple. "If I survive this, I will never return to this house, unless it is to end this nightmare forever." Then silence swallowed the room. Hours later, Maya regained consciousness at the small clinic down the street. Her shoulder was wrapped in thick bandages. A nurse dabbed her forehead gently, whispering, "You're lucky, my sister. Both you and your baby survived, but this is not something you can keep enduring." Maya turned her head slowly. Liam sat beside her bed, his little face stained with dried tears. When he saw her eyes open, he jumped into her arms, sobbing loudly. "Mommy, don't go back. Please don't go back. Daddy is scary." His words sliced deeper than any iron could. Maya held him close, her heart pounding with both fear and determination. She knew she had to leave Jamal, for Liam, for her unborn child, for herself. But even as she made that silent vow, she also knew something else. Jamal would not let her go easily. And whatever she planned, it would require more than courage. It would require strategy, protection, and strength far beyond what she had ever needed before. Still, she whispered to Liam, "I won't let anyone hurt us again, I promise." Yet outside the clinic door, Jamal's shadow passed by the window, slow, searching, restless. He was looking for her. Not out of regret, but out of rage. The battle for escape had just begun. And the revenge that would one day follow would shake the entire community. The chapter closes as the clinic door handle jiggles from the outside, someone trying to enter. Maya freezes. Liam holds her tightly. And the door begins to open. The clinic door creaked open slowly and Maya braced herself, pulling Liam behind her. Her breath caught in her throat, expecting Jamal's towering figure to burst through with more fury than before. But instead, a different face appeared, Nurse Alyemi, the night shift nurse. Maya, calm down, she whispered when she saw the terror in Maya's eyes. It's just me, but you need to know something. Your husband is outside. He's been packing around the clinic since you were brought in. Maya's heart pounded painfully. Jamal was still here. Still angry. Still unpredictable. Still dangerous. I can't let him take me home, she whispered, holding Liam close. The nurse nodded. Good, because you're not leaving through that front door. Follow me. The nurse led Maya and Liam through a narrow hallway at the back of the clinic. The walls were dimly lit, and every sound, the flickering bulb, the distant footsteps, felt magnified. Maya kept glancing behind her, expecting Jamal to appear at any second. When they reached the back exit, Nurse Aliemi handed Maya a small bag. A neighbor brought this. She said it belongs to you. Inside there is a wrapper, your purse, and your phone. But Maya, do not call him. Do not let him know where you're going. I won't, Maya whispered. You need to disappear for now, the nurse continued. Do you have somewhere safe you can go? Maya hesitated. Her family lived in another state. The distance alone felt like a mountain, but she had no choice. Yes, she finally answered. My aunt in Riverdale. Good, the nurse said. Go immediately. Maya nodded and stepped into the cool night air with Liam's small hand clutched tightly in hers. The streets were quiet, but her fear was. Every shadow looked like Jamal. Every sound felt like a threat. She flagged down a taxi driver who glanced at her bandaged shoulder and the frightened child beside her, then said gently, Madam, know where you day go this night? Riverdale bus terminal. Please, I'll pay you. He nodded and unlocked the doors. As the taxi pulled away, Maya spotted a frightening sight through the back window. Jamal stepping out from the shadows, his eyes sweeping the street. Searching, his fists clenched, his jaw tight. Maya ducked her head instantly, but she wasn't sure whether he had seen her. Liam clung to her arm, whispering, Mommy, will Daddy come after us? She kissed the top of his head, not if I can help it. But even she did not fully believe her own words. The next morning, Maya and Liam finally reached Riverdale, a quiet town where the breeze smelled of rain, and the streets were lined with old palm trees. Her Aunt Clara's house sat on a small hill, painted yellow with a rusting iron gate. When Clara saw them at her doorstep, her smile faded instantly. Maya, what happened to you? Maya didn't want to speak. Not yet. Not about the burning, not about the shouting, not about the fear. And certainly not about the fact that Jamal had once been a good man, or at least someone she believed she loved. She simply whispered, Auntie, please, we need a place to stay. Clara opened her arms immediately. This house is yours, come inside. Inside, the house felt warm, safe, even. Liam finally relaxed enough to play with Clara's cat, shadowing it around the living room. Maya watched him, her heart squeezing. He had seen too much for a child his age. Clara returned with warm tea. Tell me everything. Maya swallowed hard, her voice trembling as she spoke. Jamal has changed, Auntie. He used to hot iron on me. He almost hit Liam. I thought I was going to die. Clara covered her mouth, horror washing over her. And you want to stay here until you heal? Maya slowly shook her head. No, Auntie, I want to stay here until I deliver this baby, and even after that. She stared at her bandaged shoulder. I am done with Jamal. Clara reached out and held her hand firmly. Then you and your children will start a new life here. You are safe. For the first time in days, Maya felt a small breath of peace. But peace never lasts long when danger is lurking. And Jamal was not a man who let go easily. 2 weeks passed. Maya settled quietly into life at Riverdale. She helped Clara around the house, attended prenatal checkups at the local clinic, and watched Liam grow comfortable again. The bruises on her body began to fade, but the emotional wounds remained raw. One afternoon, Maya sat outside under the mango tree, watching Liam draw shapes in the sand. She rubbed her belly gently, whispering, You will be born into peace. I promise." A breeze rustled the leaves. Then a shadow fell across her. She looked up. A man she didn't recognize stood there, tall, broad-shouldered, wearing a dark blue cap pulled low over his eyes. His face was calm, too calm. "Are you Maya?" he asked. She froze. "Who are you?" The man reached into his pocket. Maya's heart leaped into her throat. She grabbed Liam instantly, pulling him behind her just as the man slowly pulled out a folded paper. He held it out. "Your husband asked me to give you this." Her blood ran cold. Clara, who had been approaching from inside the house, stopped dead in her tracks. "Maya, don't take it." But Maya already knew it was too late. Jamal had found her. Her fingers shook as she unfolded the note. The handwriting was unmistakable. "Jamal, you think you can run from me. You think you can hide. You better come home before things get worse. You know I always get what's mine." The paper slipped from Maya's hand. Her world tilted. Jamal knew where she was. He was coming. And she was no longer just trying to escape. She was now preparing for war. Maya's fingers trembled as the note fluttered to the ground. Every word written in Jamal's familiar, aggressive handwriting felt like a knife pressed against her throat. Liam clung tightly to her wrapper, sensing the fear radiating from her body even before understanding the danger fully. The tall man who delivered the message didn't speak again. He simply turned and walked away, disappearing down the dusty path as though he had no idea he just pierced the fragile peace Maya had tried to build. Aunt Clara rushed to Maya's side, gripping her shoulders firmly. "Maya, look at me." But Maya couldn't look up. Her eyes remained on the note, on the threat, on the nightmare she had tried to escape. "He found us," Maya whispered, her voice breaking. "Auntie, he actually found us." Clara picked up the note with a scowl. "This man has lost his mind. Maya, you must alert the police." Maya shook her head quickly. "Jamal, he always talks his way out. He makes people think I'm dramatic, emotional, that I'm lying. They always believe him." "Not here," Clara said firmly. "This town is not like that. You'll be heard." But Maya wasn't convinced, and deep down she feared something worse. If Jamal had tracked her all the way here, he wasn't planning to simply talk. He was planning something far more dangerous, something fueled by pride, obsession, and the fear of losing control. That night, after Liam finally drifted off to sleep in Clara's guest bedroom, Maya sat alone at the small dining table, staring at the flickering candle. Clara joined her quietly, placing a warm cup of tea in front of her. "Maya, you must think carefully," Clara began softly. "Do you want to run again, or do you want to fight?" Maya wrapped her hands around the cup, more for comfort than warmth. "Auntie, I'm tired of running, but I'm also scared of what he might do if he comes here." Clara nodded slowly. "Fear is normal, but you are not the same Maya who left that house with burns. You're stronger now, and you are not alone." Maya swallowed hard. "I just want my children safe." "And they will be," Clara assured her. "But you must decide soon. Jamal is not a patient man." Silence filled the room, deep, heavy, suffocating. Finally, Maya whispered, "I will not let him break me again. If he steps foot here, I will protect my children, no matter what." Clara squeezed her hand gently, her eyes filled with pride. "Good." But Maya couldn't shake the image of Jamal standing at the foot of the clinic, searching for her with rage in his eyes. She knew he wouldn't stop until he felt in control again. And that made him unpredictable. 3 days passed with tense quiet. Maya stayed indoors mostly, only going out for short walks with Liam and Clara. But even then, she felt watched. Every stranger made her heart jump. Every sound at the gate felt like a warning. One afternoon, Clara had gone to buy food items at the market. Maya was washing vegetables in the yard while Liam played with stones near the fence. The air was calm, too calm. Then it happened. A crisp pop sound came from the front gate. It wasn't loud, but it wasn't normal either. Maya's body stiffened. She turned slowly toward the sound. Another soft pipe. She froze. Then the gate creaked open. Her heart hammered. She grabbed Liam instantly, pulling him close, pressing her back against the wall as her breathing quickened. "Who's there?" she called out, voice trembling but loud enough to hide the fear. No response. Just footsteps. Slow, heavy, determined footsteps. Her instincts screamed at her to run, but her feet wouldn't move. Liam clutched her wrapper tightly, whispering through shaky breaths, "Mommy, is it Daddy?" She didn't answer. She didn't know. A tall shadow appeared on the ground first. Then the shape of a man's figure stretched across the compound floor, growing clearer as he approached. Maya felt her stomach twist. Her palms grew cold. Her breath caught in her chest. Then, the man stepped into view. Her heart sank. It was Jamal. But he wore Jamal's jacket. The same black denim jacket Jamal bought last Christmas. The same jacket Jamal claimed was his power suit, the one he wore whenever he wanted to intimidate someone. The stranger stopped a few meters away. Maya forced out a shaky voice. "Who gave you that jacket? Where is Jamal?" The man stared at her silently, then lifted his chin slightly. "He knows where you are, and he's coming." Maya's throat tightened. "Why are you here? What do you want?" The man stepped even closer. "To warn you," he said quietly, "don't be here tonight." Her knees buckled. "Tonight," she whispered. "Yes," he said. "He's angry, Maya. He's not thinking straight." And without explaining further, the man turned and left through the same gate he entered. Maya stood rooted to the ground, her pulse thundering in her ears. Liam tugged her wrapper gently. "Mommy, what does he mean? Is Daddy coming?" Maya knelt slowly, cupping Liam's face in her shaking hands. "Listen to me, Liam. Mommy will keep you safe, I promise, but we must be very careful." As she held him, her mind raced, not with fear but with something sharper. Tonight was the night Jamal intended to strike. But tonight might also become the night Maya stopped running. Forever. The chapter ends as Maya rises slowly, staring toward the gate with newfound steel in her eyes. Jamal was coming. And this time, she would be ready. The evening crept in slowly over Riverdale, painting the sky in deepening shades of orange and purple. As the shadows stretched across Aunt Clara's compound, Maya felt the weight of danger thickening in the air. Every sound, every rustle of leaves, every passing motorcycle, every distant dog bark made her heart pulse with alarm. Aunt Clara returned from the market just before sunset, her face tightening when she saw Maya packing anxiously. "What happened? You look unsettled," Clara said, placing her basket on the table. Maya swallowed hard. "A man came here. He wore Jamal's jacket. He said Jamal is coming tonight." Clara froze. "Tonight?" "Yes." Clara immediately locked the front and back doors, then secured the windows. "We must be prepared. Maya, sit down and breathe." But Maya couldn't sit. She couldn't even stand still. She had lived in fear for months, ever since Jamal's temper became unpredictable and violent. But tonight, the fear was what shook her the most. It was the rising anger underneath. She wasn't just a woman running anymore. She wasn't the same Maya who had begged for mercy, who had curled up under the threat of a hot iron, who had shielded her son from a father gone mad. Tonight she was something else. Something stronger. Something determined. A mother with everything to fight for. A woman ready to reclaim her life. Clara cooked dinner, but no one touched it. Liam sat between them, quietly drawing circles on a piece of paper. He didn't fully understand what was happening, but he knew something was terribly wrong. "Mommy, is Daddy coming to take us?" he asked quietly. Maya knelt in front of him, brushing a hand over his curly hair. "Daddy is not taking anyone anywhere. You are safe here." Liam nodded, but his eyes remained troubled. The room grew darker as night settled. Clara lit a lamp and whispered, "If he comes here thinking he can harm you again, he will be disappointed. This house is not his." But Maya wasn't thinking about hiding anymore. Instead, she asked quietly, "Auntie, do you still have those old wooden sticks behind the house? The ones Uncle Tund carved for training long ago?" Clara's eyebrows lifted. "Maya, what are you thinking?" "Protection," Maya answered simply. Clara studied her, then exhaled slowly. "Yes, I have them." She went to retrieve them, returning with two solid wooden sticks, thick, heavy, strong. She placed one in Maya's hand. "Whatever happens," Clara said, her voice steady, "you are not alone." Maya gripped the stick tightly. For the first time in a very long time, she felt power rush through her fingers. At 9:17 p.m. the first sign arrived. The sound of tires crunching gravel outside the gate. Maya, Clara, and Liam froze. A vehicle had stopped outside. For a full minute, no one moved. Then 3 sharp knocks on the gate echoed in the silence. Bang, bang, bang. Clara whispered, "Don't open it." Maya held Liam close with one arm, the wooden stick in her other hand. A deep voice called out from outside. "Maya, open this gate, I know you're in there." "Jamal." The sound of his voice made Liam shrink behind Maya instantly. Maya straightened her back, breathing slowly to steady her trembling pulse. She didn't answer. Clara placed a hand on Maya's shoulder. "Maya, don't let him provoke you," Clara whispered. But Jamal kept shouting, "You think you can run from me? You think you can hide behind people who don't know anything? Open this gate before I break it." Another loud bang vibrated through the compound. Clara flinched. Maya didn't. She stepped closer to the gate, stopping just short of touching it. Her voice was calm, calmer than she felt. "Jamal, go home." There was silence on the other side. Then an unhinged laugh. "You're telling me to go home? Maya, you must have lost your mind. You are my wife and you belong in my house. Now open this gate." "No," Maya said firmly. "Not now, not ever again." Another bang. "You're carrying my child," Jamal roared. "You think you can just walk away?" "This baby is mine to protect," Maya replied. "And Liam too, not yours to destroy." Her voice echoed through the compound. Clara placed Liam in the bedroom and shut the door gently, returning with her own wooden stick. Jamal's voice grew deeper, more threatening. "If you don't open this gate, Maya, I swear I'm coming in." Maya felt her heartbeat quicken. Then came a sound that made the hairs on her arms stand up. Metal scraping. Someone was tampering with the lock. Clara's voice trembled slightly. "He's trying to break in." Maya tightened her grip on the stick. "Then he will meet me." The metal clicked again. Then snapped. The gate creaked open slowly. Jamal stepped inside, his body large, shoulders broad, eyes blazing with fury. His clothes were rumpled, his face unshaven. He looked wild, desperate, dangerous. Clara slowly shifted to stand beside Maya. Jamal's gaze landed on Maya and the wooden stick in her hand. A mocking smile spread across his face. "What is this? You want to fight me?" Maya didn't speak. "You think you're strong now, because you ran away, because someone is protecting you." She still didn't speak. "You can't win," he sneered. "You're carrying my child, I made you who you are, you're nothing without me." Maya's breath steadied. For the first time, she didn't feel fear. She felt clarity. "No, Jamal," she said quietly, "I am someone despite you." Jamal's smile faded. His anger flared. He took a step forward. But Maya raised the stick sharply, positioning herself with a steadiness he didn't expect. "If you take one more step," Maya warned, "today will not end the way you think." Jamal paused, shocked by her tone. This wasn't the Maya he controlled. This wasn't the woman who cried under his blows. This wasn't the woman who begged for mercy. This was a woman transformed. And as Jamal hesitated, two flashlights suddenly beamed through the open gate. "Hey, you there, stop where you are," a voice commanded. Two local security guards entered the compound, alerted by Clara earlier when she returned from the market. Jamal's eyes widened. The guards moved closer, hands on their batons. "Madam, is this the man you reported?" one asked. Maya's chest rose and fell slowly. Her voice was steady. "Yes," she said, "this is the man." Jamal's anger twisted into panic. "Maya, don't do this." But the guard stepped forward, grabbing him firmly. He struggled, shouting, "You can't take me, she's my wife. She's carrying my child." But the guards pinned him, ignoring his protests. Clara placed her arm around Maya's shoulders. Maya watched silently as Jamal was dragged out of the compound, still shouting, still furious, still refusing to recognize the consequences of his actions. But Maya knew the truth. This wasn't the end. Jamal wouldn't stop. Not even after tonight. And she would need more than courage to protect her children. She would need a plan. And maybe revenge. If this story is already touching your heart, please take 1 second to like this video, subscribe to Black Race Tales, and turn on notifications. Your support helps us keep telling these powerful African and Black community stories to the world. The night after Jamal was dragged away by the security guards felt strangely quiet, too quiet. The air carried a stillness that made Maya restless, as though something unseen was shifting beneath the surface. She spent the hours after midnight watching Liam sleep, brushing her fingers through his curls, whispering silent prayers. He looked peaceful, innocent, untouched by the madness of the world. But Maya knew that wasn't true. He had seen things no child should ever witness. He had watched his father become a monster, and though he didn't speak of it, Maya saw the fear that lingered behind his eyes. Aunt Clara checked on her periodically, offering warm water, comfort, and quiet company. But Clara could also sense that Maya's mind was far away, somewhere between fear and planning. "You haven't closed your eyes," Clara said gently around dawn. Maya nodded. "I can't sleep yet." "You're safe now," Clara assured her. "The guards said they'll file a report. Jamal will be warned, maybe even detained for the night." Maya lowered her gaze. "A warning is nothing to a man like Jamal. He thinks he owns me. He thinks I'm something he can control." Clara sighed deeply. "Then let's think ahead. What do you want to do now?" Maya didn't answer immediately. She stared at the rising sun, her fingers subconsciously rubbing her bandaged shoulder, the mark Jamal left, the mark she would carry for life. "I want to be done with him," she finally said, "truly done." Clara nodded slowly. "Then you will be." Later that morning, the local police officer, Sergeant Monday, a stout man with a kind but stern face, arrived at Clara's home to take Maya's statement. He sat across from her in the living room, flipping open his notebook. "Madam Maya," he began, "I'm sorry for what you have gone through. I need you to tell me everything from the beginning." Maya relived each moment, her voice trembling at times, steady at others. She described the fights, the insults, the threats, the burning. She described the moment Jamal nearly struck Liam. She described fleeing in the night. Sergeant Monday's eyes hardened. "This is serious domestic assault. He could be charged for all of this, but it depends on your cooperation." "I will cooperate," Maya said firmly, "but I also want protection for my children." "You will get it." As he packed his notebook, he added gently, "Madam, you are stronger than you think. Few women survive what you survived." Maya nodded, but a part of her still felt unsure. Strong. She didn't feel strong, not yet, but she was determined, and determination was something she had never lacked. By afternoon, news spread quietly around Riverdale that a violent man had come after a pregnant woman. Neighbors walked past Clara's compound, whispering their sympathy and indignation. Some even offered help. Maya felt a small sense of belonging that she had never felt in Jamal's neighborhood, the kind of community that did not turn away when someone was hurting. For the next 2 days, the house settled into a new rhythm. Maya helped Clara cook and clean, Liam played without fear, and Maya's baby kicked with strong, hopeful energy inside her belly. But despite the calm, Maya couldn't relax. Jamal was too quiet, too silent. And a man like Jamal didn't disappear without a plan. On the third evening after the confrontation, Maya stepped outside to hang clothes. The sky was overcast, heavy with the smell of approaching rain. Liam played on the porch while Clara prepared dinner inside. Maya shook out a wrapper and clipped it neatly on the line. Then she paused. A sound reached her, soft, distant, almost familiar. Footsteps. No heavier. Like a vehicle door closing. She hurried to the fence and peered through a small crack in the wood. A black SUV sat across the road. Its engine was off. Its windows were tinted. But Maya knew. Her heart clenched. He was back. Not on foot. Not yelling. Not banging on gates. No, this time Jamal was waiting. Watching. Preparing. She quickly stepped back from the fence, her stomach tightening. Maya, Clara called from inside. Are you okay? But Maya couldn't answer. Liam tugged her dress gently. Mommy, why are you shaking? She scooped him up instantly and rushed inside. Clara immediately noticed the alarm in her face. What did you see? Maya pointed toward the front of the house. Jamal is outside. Clara's expression hardened. Again, after the police warning. He's not coming to the gate this time, Maya whispered. He's hiding, watching. Clara marched toward the door. I'll call the police. No, Maya said suddenly. Not yet. Clara paused, startled. Why? Maya exhaled shakily. Because calling them won't stop him forever. He will always come back, and I'm tired of waiting for him to strike. Her eyes sharpened with a new kind of resolve. A resolve born from pain, survival, and a desire to end the fear controlling her life. For the first time, she whispered, I want to choose the next move. Clara studied her face carefully. Maya, be careful with your thoughts right now. But Maya shook her head. Auntie, every time I've tried to run or hide, he has found me. He wants control. He wants to scare me into returning. She placed a hand over her belly. But I can't raise 2 children in fear of their father. Something must change. Clara stepped closer, her voice gentle. Are you thinking of confrontation? I'm thinking of protection, Maya replied. But I'm also thinking of ending this, all of it. Her jaw tightened. This time, Jamal will learn that I am not the weak woman he tortured. Lightning flashed outside, illuminating the room. Liam flinched. The SUV across the road remained parked. Silent. Waiting. Jamal was planning something. And Maya was planning too. The difference was, Maya had nothing left to lose. And everything to protect. As thunder rolled across the sky, Maya looked at Clara and said quietly, Tonight, we won't be the ones afraid. The chapter ends as she slowly steps toward the window, staring out at the dark SUV, its presence heavy, threatening, and uninvited. A storm was coming. And not just the one in the sky. The clouds gathered thickly over Riverdale, turning the sky into a dark ceiling ready to burst. The wind carried the scent of rain and tension, 2 things that always seem to come before a storm in Maya's life. Except this time, Maya wasn't trembling. She stood at the window with her jaw set, her back straight, and her eyes locked on the black SUV across the road. Liam sat near Aunt Clara, watching cartoons but glancing anxiously at his mother every few seconds. Clara paced back and forth, whispering prayers under her breath. Maya, Clara said, stopping beside her, I still think we should call the police again. We will, Maya replied, but not yet. You're scaring me, Clara murmured. Maya finally turned to her with eyes that held fire. Auntie, I can't hide forever. If I keep running, Jamal will feel like he still owns me, like he can corner me anywhere I go. Clara sighed. I understand that, but you are pregnant. You must think carefully about the baby. Maya placed a protective hand over her belly. That's exactly why I'm doing this. Her voice didn't shake. It didn't quiver. It was solid, just like her resolve. The rain began slowly, soft drops that tapped the zinc roof like cautious footsteps. Maya continued watching the SUV, waiting for movement. But the car remained still, almost deliberately. Jamal was patient tonight. Too patient. And that meant danger. Clara came closer and whispered, He wants to scare you. He's succeeding, Maya admitted, but fear and surrender are not the same. As lightning lit up the street for a brief moment, Maya saw the SUV's headlights flicker and a shadow shift inside the driver's seat. Her pulse quickened. He's there, she whispered. He's watching us. Clara stiffened. This man is possessed. What does he want? Maya breathed deeply. Control, that's all it has ever been. She stepped away from the window and paced the room slowly, thinking, calculating, remembering everything she endured, the burns, the beatings, the fear. That night with the iron had been the worst moment of her life, but it had also awakened something fierce inside her. Tonight would not end like that night. Tonight would end with a shift in power. Hours passed. The rain intensified, hammering the roof like a marching army. Liam eventually fell asleep on the couch, curled into a small ball. Clara threw a wrapper over him and turned back to Maya. Maya, this waiting is torture, Clara whispered. I know, Maya replied softly, but waiting is part of strategy. Clara blinked. Strategy. Yes, Maya said. Jamal is trying to wear me down, to make me afraid, but he forgets something. Fear can become strength. She took a deep breath. I want him to reveal his next move. Maya. Before Clara could finish her sentence, they both heard it. A car door opening, then slamming shut. Clara rushed to the window. He's coming. Maya felt her heart throb, but she didn't run. She didn't hide. She grabbed the wooden stick from the kitchen corner, the same one she used the last time he invaded. She stood behind the door, breathing steadily. Rain pounded everything. Wind howled. The night itself seemed to hold its breath. Then, bang! A loud knock shook the front door. Maya, Jamal's voice thundered through the storm. Open this door, we are not done. Clara grabbed the phone. I'm calling the police. Not yet, Maya said. Maya, are you mad? No, Auntie, Maya said softly. I'm finally sane. Jamal banged again, harder this time. Open this door or I will break it down. Clara trembled. He's serious. But Maya's voice was steady. Let him break it. Clara stared at her in shock. Maya. Maya inhaled sharply. Let him do what he does best, force. Then we respond. Jamal cursed loudly outside, kicking the door again. You think you can hide behind a woman's house. You think you can disobey me and just walk away. Maya remained quiet, tightening her grip on the wooden stick. Come out now, Jamal shouted. When Maya didn't respond, he growled, fine. A sudden violent crack split through the air. The doorframe groaned. He's breaking it, Clara cried. Another loud crash. The door shook. Clara whispered desperately, Maya, forget strategy, we must hide. Think of your baby. Maya turned and faced her aunt with quiet determination. Auntie, I will protect my children, but I won't be hunted forever. Tonight, Jamal learns he cannot break me again. Crack. The wooden bolt splintered. The final blow sent the door flying inward. Jamal stormed into the house, soaked from the rain, rage twisting his features. Thunder roared behind him, making his silhouette even more terrifying. His gaze snapped to Maya. "There she is," he snarled. Clara stepped forward, shaking but brave. "Leave now, get out of my house." Jamal shoved her aside. Clara stumbled but stayed on her feet. He advanced toward Maya. "Maya," he growled, "you are coming back with me today. I don't care if you crawl or walk. You are coming home." Maya raised the wooden stick. Jamal smirked. "You think you can fight me, you think." But he didn't finish his sentence because Maya stepped forward, calm, strong, unafraid. "No, Jamal," she said, "I don't think I know." He lunged at her. Maya swung the stick. A loud crack filled the room. Jamal staggered backward, stunned. But Maya didn't stop. This time she attacked with all the fury, pain, and fire she had kept buried for years. Another strike. Then another. Then another. Jamal tried to grab the stick, but Clara joined in, striking his arm with a kitchen pan, yelling, "Leave her alone." Jamal cried out in shock, covering his head. He had never seen Maya like this. He had never imagined she could fight back. He had never believed she had this kind of strength. When he finally stumbled near the wall, breathing heavily, dripping rain and humiliation, he raised his hands defensively. "Stop, Maya, stop. What has gotten into you?" But Maya stepped closer, her chest heaving. "You did," she said. Jamal stared at her, panting, fear finally dawning in his eyes. "Maya," he whispered, I can explain." "You can explain to the police," she said coldly, "because tonight is the last time you will ever walk into my life." She nodded at Clara. Clara dialed the police immediately. Jamal's face twisted with desperation. "Maya, please." But Maya looked down at him, not with love, not with fear, but with a strength he could never destroy. "You tortured me," she said quietly. "You nearly killed me. You traumatized our son, and you will answer for all of it." As the police sirens pierced through the storm and approached the house, Jamal closed his eyes. He knew it was over. Or so Maya thought. What none of them saw was the second figure sitting in the passenger seat of the SUV. Someone Jamal had brought with him. Someone who wasn't going to let things end this easily. The chapter ends as the sirens grow louder, and the mystery figure slowly steps out of the SUV into the rain. The police sirens grew louder as they approached Clara's compound, flashing red and blue through the heavy rain. Jamal remained on the floor, breathing hard, shaken in a way Maya had never seen before. Clara stayed beside the phone, her hands trembling slightly, while Maya stood tall and alert, the wooden stick still firm in her grip. But outside, the storm hid something dangerous. Someone stepping out of the SUV Jamal arrived in. A dark figure, broad-shouldered, wearing a black hooded jacket. He didn't rush, he didn't panic. He moved with a purpose that made Maya's heart constrict. Jamal lifted his head weakly as he heard footsteps approaching the open doorway. His eyes widened suddenly. "No, no, no, stay outside," Jamal hissed in a panicked whisper. "Don't come in." But the figure ignored him. Maya and Clara turned toward the door just as the man stepped into the house, water dripping from his jacket onto the tiled floor. At first, only the lower half of his face was visible, a frown, sharp jawline, clenched teeth. Then he pulled down his hood. It wasn't a stranger. It was Jamal's older brother, Marcus. Maya's blood ran cold. Marcus was even worse than Jamal. Where Jamal was impulsive, Marcus was calculated. Where Jamal exploded with emotion, Marcus used silence and intimidation. And unlike Jamal, who still had moments of fear, Marcus had none. He was dangerous in a way Jamal could never be. Clara whispered, "Who is that?" Maya's voice tightened. "Jamal's brother." Marcus surveyed the room. his eyes lingering on Maya's swollen belly, the broken door, Jamal crouched on the floor, and the wooden sticks in the women's hands. Then he stepped forward. "Maya," he said in a low, icy voice, "did you raise your hand at my brother?" Jamal tried to speak. "Marcus, stop. Go back to the car." But Marcus ignored him. His eyes remained locked on Maya. "You humiliated him," Marcus said quietly. "In public, twice now." Clara quickly stepped in front of Maya. "Get out of this house, now." Marcus didn't look at her. "Move." Clara didn't move. So Marcus stepped closer. Too close. Maya pulled Clara back gently and faced Marcus herself. "Your brother attacked me," she said. "He burned me. He almost hurt our son. I defended myself." Marcus narrowed his eyes. "You should have stayed in your place." Maya's heart pounded, but she stood firm. "I'm not living in fear anymore." Marcus chuckled, a cold, humorless sound. "Fear is not something you choose, Maya. It's something we create." Clara grabbed her phone. "The police are seconds away. Leave now." Marcus tilted his head, unfazed. "Let them come. They can't arrest me for standing in a house." But Maya sensed something more in his calmness. Something planned. Something creeping beneath the surface. Marcus finally crouched beside Jamal. "Brother, why are you on the floor?" Jamal swallowed hard. She fought me." Marcus's face darkened. "You let her." Jamal avoided his eyes. Marcus stood up again, glaring at Maya with intensity. "You think you're powerful now, because you hit Jamal, because you have people supporting you." His jaw tightened. "Let me warn you, if you take my brother to court, you are declaring war on my family." Maya met his stare without blinking. "Then let the court handle the war." For the first time, Marcus's mask cracked. Anger flashed in his eyes. "You don't understand what you're doing," he said slowly. "The police will leave. People will go home. But family conflict stays forever." Maya raised her chin. "If your family wants a fight, I won't run." Marcus stepped closer, too close again. Clara moved to block him, but Maya put out a hand. "Auntie, it's okay." Marcus leaned in, his voice a whisper. "You think this is over. This is just the beginning, Maya." Before Maya could reply, strong lights filled the compound, police lights. Doors slammed. Officers rushed in, two entering the living room immediately. Sergeant Monday stepped in, rain dripping from his uniform. He saw Jamal on the floor, Marcus standing over him, Maya holding a wooden stick, and Clara standing protectively next to Liam, now awake and frightened. "What is happening here?" Sergeant Monday demanded. Marcus straightened his jacket, calm again. "Officer, I'm just helping my brother. These women attacked him." Maya's anger flared. "That is a lie." Clara added, "He broke into my house, and this other man forced his way in too." Sergeant Monday turned sharply toward Marcus. "Who invited you here?" Marcus smirked. "Family issues, officer, nothing criminal." But the officer was not fooled. "This is a domestic violence case," Sergeant Monday said. "And you," he pointed at Marcus, "you entered private property without permission." Marcus shrugged. "Just checking on my brother." "And you," the officer continued, turning to Jamal, "were warned already. You violated the no-contact directive." An officer stepped forward and pulled handcuffs from his belt. Marcus tensed. "You're arresting both of us for what?" But the officer ignored him and grabbed Jamal first. Jamal struggled weakly. "Marcus, do something." Marcus moved quickly toward him, but Sergeant Monday blocked him. "The next step you take makes you part of the arrest," Monday warned. Marcus clenched his fists but froze. Jamal was handcuffed. Then the officer turned to Marcus. "And you step outside. We'll have questions for you." Marcus glared at Maya, a glare full of venom, full of promise, full of future danger. "You've made a powerful enemy," he said quietly. Maya didn't flinch. "So be it." Marcus was escorted outside as well, not arrested, but firmly contained. The police left with Jamal, who kept shouting for Marcus until the car door slammed shut. Marcus, still free, stood under the rain staring at Maya. He didn't shout. He didn't threaten. He simply pointed 2 fingers at his eyes, then pointed them at her. "I'm watching," he mouthed. Then he got into the SUV and drove off into the storm. Clara locked the broken door as best as she could, her hands trembling. "Maya," she whispered, "that man, he is dangerous." "I know," Maya replied softly. She touched her belly. The baby kicked as if responding to her fear and her strength. "But I am done being afraid." The chapter ends as Maya holds Liam close, lightning illuminating her determined face, while thunder rumbles in the distance, signaling that the true confrontation with Marcus was coming. A confrontation she did not expect. A confrontation that would push her into a revenge she never imagined she was capable of. The night after Jamal's arrest and Marcus's threat felt heavier than any night Maya had endured. Rain had stopped, but the ground still glistened from the storm, and the air carried that unsettled quiet that made even the trees seem alert. Maya sat at the dining table with a cup of warm tea untouched in front of her. Liam was asleep again, curled safely beside Aunt Clara. Maya watched them silently, knowing they were the reason she couldn't break, couldn't fall apart, couldn't bow to fear anymore. Because now that Jamal was gone, Marcus was the new danger. And Marcus was not reckless like Jamal. He was strategic, patient, calculated. He didn't act out of anger, he acted out of intent. Clara joined Maya at the table, rubbing her tired eyes. "You should sleep, my child." Maya shook her head. "Marcus won't let this go. I know him. He will come back." Clara swallowed hard. "Yes, but so will the police if needed. And the community will not allow another attack." That comforted Maya slightly, but not enough. She had seen the way Marcus looked at her. Not like a man seeking justice, but a man declaring a vendetta. A man promising a future she couldn't predict. Finally, Clara placed a hand on Maya's shoulder. "You survived something many women never walk away from. You stood your ground, you defended your home, and you protected your son." She took a deep breath. "But now you must decide what life you want after this storm." Maya nodded slowly. She had thought the same thing all night. She was done surviving. She wanted to live. By morning, news spread that Jamal had been officially charged for domestic violence, breaking and entering, and violating a protective order. He was expected to remain in custody until his hearing in 2 weeks. Marcus, however, had been questioned and released. No charges yet. That unsettled Maya more than Jamal's arrest. Clara walked into the living room carrying bread and tea. "Eat something, dear." But Maya was staring at her phone. "Auntie, look." Clara leaned over her shoulder. On Maya's phone screen was a message request from an unknown number. But the message was unmistakably from Marcus. "You may think you won yesterday. You didn't. I will settle this my way." Clara's hand flew to her chest. "That man has no fear of the law." Maya's jaw tightened. "Marcus believes he is above consequences." "And what do you want to do about it?" Clara asked gently. Maya didn't answer. Not yet. Later that afternoon, Maya walked to the backyard, the place where she often stood to breathe and think. The mango tree swayed gently above her, its leaves whispering as though urging her to make a choice. She touched her belly. Her baby moved again, strong, healthy, reminding her she had a future to protect. "I won't let him take our peace," she whispered. Just then a voice behind her said, "Good, then don't be silent." Maya turned sharply. It was Sergeant Monday. "Auntie Clara called," he explained. "I heard Marcus contacted you." "Yes," Maya replied. Sergeant Monday exhaled, rubbing the back of his neck. "I'll be honest, That man is known for intimidation, but he's smart, too smart. He doesn't leave evidence. So he'll get away with it, Maya said quietly. Monday shook his head. He might, but you won't be alone. We'll help you, the community will help you, and the law will protect you. Maya looked away. The law rarely protects women like me. But this community does, Monday insisted. Tell me what you want, Maya, we'll support it. Maya finally looked at him fully. I want peace, not just for me but for my children. Monday nodded, then let's start there. But Maya wasn't done speaking. She surprised herself with her next words. I want Marcus to realize he can't control everything. He can't threaten me. He can't intimidate me. And he can't destroy my life simply because he feels entitled to it. Monday's eyebrows rose slightly. Maya, is this about protection or revenge? Maya didn't flinch. Protection is revenge sometimes. The officer studied her a long moment, then finally said, if you're going to pursue revenge, make sure it doesn't become another prison for you. He left her with that thought. But Maya already knew her answer. Revenge wasn't about hurting anyone. It was about reclaiming power, about standing up, about making sure no man ever believed she was weak again. Days passed with no more signs of Marcus, no SUV, no message, no shadow lurking by the gate. Clara even began to relax again. Maybe the police scared him. But Maya doubted it. Marcus wasn't the kind to be scared off. He was the kind to wait, the kind to plan. And she was right. Because on Friday evening, as Maya and Clara returned from the market, they saw something that made their hearts stop. Their compound gate was slightly open. Not forced, not broken, just open. Clara grabbed Maya's arm. I locked this gate when we left. Maya's stomach twisted. They slowly stepped forward. The gate creaked as they pushed it fully. There, pinned to the gate with a kitchen knife, was a piece of paper. Maya's breath caught in her chest as she reached for it. On the paper, scrawled in large, angry letters, was, I told you it wasn't over. Marcus. Clara staggered backward. Oh my God, this man is possessed. Maya folded the paper slowly, her jaw tightening, not in fear but in decision. She turned to Clara, her eyes fierce and steady. Auntie, Maya said quietly, I'm done waiting for him to strike. Clara hesitated. Maya, what do you mean? Maya stepped forward and locked the gate herself, guiding Clara inside. What do I mean? Maya repeated calmly. I mean it's my turn now. The chapter closes as Maya stands in the center of the living room, her belly round with life, her hands steady, her eyes burning with purpose. A woman who has had enough. A woman who refuses to be hunted. A woman who is about to reclaim everything that was taken from her. Because Marcus was right about one thing. It wasn't over. But he had no idea what Maya was capable of.